Hey, this is Paul from Guitar World, and what I have here today is an update on a classic stomp box from Rocktron. It is the Rocktron Banshee 2 Talk Box. Now, this is certainly an improvement over the original Banshee Talk Box with a lot of great new features, so let's take a closer look. If you're not familiar with the Talk Box, it's been used by some very notable guitarists and used on some popular songs. The guitarists who popularized the Talk Box were Peter Frampton, Joe Walsh, Joe Perry, and Richie Sambora, and used on popular songs such as Living on a Prayer, Rocky Mountain Way, Sweet Emotion, and Do You Feel Like We Do. These are some great examples to hear how a Talk Box works. Now, when Rocktron introduced the original Banshee, it was an affordable and easy way to approach using a Talk Box because using a Talk Box was a complicated affair. You needed a PA, you needed another guitar amplifier. With the Banshee, you can basically plug this directly into your amplifier, use this as a stomp box in front of your amplifier, run the tube to your mic, and then use it to create vocal-like sounds with your guitar. Now, the improvements to the new one, which is the Banshee 2, allows you to hear your guitar along with hearing what you are vocalizing through the tube. Before, on the original Banshee, you weren't able to. It basically shut down your guitar sound from your amp, so all the guitar would be fed through the tube. But with this, now you can hear both, and it does a lot of other cool features. So let's take a closer look at all the components of it. Looking at the Banshee 2 from left to right, we have the output to your amp, and if need be, there's an extension speaker output, which allows you to drive an additional 8 ohm cab. There's also the power supply, AC power over here. And over here, the first knob is the gain knob. Now, you can basically cut all the gain off to the preamp over here, or you can drive it a bit, and you can really get it pretty distorted, so you can really hear a lot of distortion coming through the tube. But usually right about here is where you want it to be. There's also a button which allows the Banshee 2 to act much like the original Banshee, where you can press it in and it mutes the signal coming out of your amplifier, or you can have the best of both worlds where you can have both the signal coming out of the tube to your microphone and from the sound coming out of your amp. Over here we have a tone knob, and then the new feature we have here is an effects loop, which allows you to add additional effects through the effects loop on the side over here, where you can basically put a chorus through the Talk Box, or delays through the Talk Box, or additional distortions, and turn them on, or you can just bypass that and use it in the traditional method. Of course, the last thing here we have is the output of the Talk Box. Okay, so let's begin by hearing the Banshee 2. Of course, you're going to need a little bit of a PA system to run it through because you're feeding a lot of your signal to your microphone, and that adds a lot of the sounds that you're looking for. The best way to use, of course, a Talk Box is to vocalize lower frequency words or vowel-like sounds like wow or ohs, like that, because that'll really give you the most dramatic effect with a Talk Box. Because most of the sound that's coming through a Talk Box is in the higher frequency. So it's best to enunciate with a lower frequency. So you'll get to hear that. And now I'm going to keep it in the traditional method, of course. You'll hear both my amp and the sound of the Talk Box together. So let's take a listen. The Rocktron Banshee 2 offers several new features not found on other Talk Boxes. But if you've never used a TalkBox before, the Rocktron Banshee 2 is a simple and affordable way to use a TalkBox and really stand out among other guitar players. Check it out.